In note 6.2, example 4, we're going to learn how to evaluate trig functions with a calculator. So the first one we're asked to evaluate is cosine 25. So we're going to, I'm going to show you my calculator. So I'm going to share that screen. And we can hit the trig function button, and that shows us the 6 trig functions plus their inverse trig functions. So I'm going to enter cosine, and then I want to put in the angle. So notice that my calculator is in degree mode. So if I put in cosine 25, the calculator assumes that the angle is in degrees, and I could hit enter, and I get 0.906. But let me show you what happens when I put my calculator in radian mode. Then I can do trig cosine. If I type in 25, then the calculator thinks that the angle is in radians. So this is the cosine of 25 radians, which is not the right answer. However, I want to show you that it's possible to force the angle to be in whatever units you want. So right now I'm in radian mode, but if I do cosine of 25 and then I force a degree unit, so if I hit the pi key, you see that I have a degree symbol. So if I put cosine 25, then regardless of the mode of the calculator, this computation will be cosine 25 degrees. And likewise, if I'm in degree mode and I want to do a computation in radians, I can hit trig cosine, and then I can enter 25. And then if I hit the pi key again, you'll see this little r. This means the units are radian. So if I hit enter now, notice that I'm in degree mode, but the angle is in radians. So that overrides the default setting in the calculator. So when I take this calculation, this is the cosine of 25 radians, which is the same as when I did the calculation in radian mode. So cosine of 25 degrees is 0.906. So let's go back to the notes and enter that value. So cosine of 25 degrees is equal to 0.906. Let me just change that. There we go. All right, now we're going to do tangent of 41 degrees. So I'm going to go back to the calculator. So we will enter trig tangent, and then I want 41 degrees. I'm in degree mode, so I can simply enter 41. That'll calculate tangent of 41 degrees. So that is 0.869. So we'll go back and we will enter that on the notes. So tangent of 41 is 0.869. Let's do the next one. Sine of pi over 10. So pi over 10 is in radians. So either make sure that your calculator is in radian mode or force the units to be in radians. So trig tangent. And now it's a little bit tricky to get the radians when you have a fraction here. So I'm going to put the divide symbol, and then I'm going to do pi in the numerator divided by 10. And now I want the units to be in radians. So actually, I think it's helpful to have another set of parentheses and then go outside the set of parentheses for the angle. And now I can force the units to be in radians. And that makes the pi over 10 in radians. So right now I'm in degree mode, but I force the angle to be in radians. So that would be 0.325. Let's confirm it. Let's put the calculator in radian mode. I think it's probably easier to do it that way than force the units to be radians. So tangent, I'll put in the division template, and then we can do pi over 10. And now my calculator will think that the units are radians. And notice the calculator won't know. If you put pi over 10 and it's in degrees, it doesn't know that this is a radian measure as a multiple of pi. So the answer to this problem is Oh, it wasn't supposed to be sine. It was supposed to be, I mean, tangent was supposed to be sine. So let me grab this one and change this trig function to be sine. Sorry about that. Sine. So what we really want is sine of pi over 10. And so that is 0.309. That's the answer we're going to put on the notes. So let's go back to the notes. And sine of pi over 10 is equal to 0.309. Secant pi over 9, that's going to be in, those units are in radians. So I'll go back to my calculator. Secant, so I'm in radian mode. I think that's the easiest method to use. I just wanted to show you the other way. Secant, then we'll do pi over 9. So the units will be radians because we're in radian mode. Hit enter. That's 1.064. And I'm going to do the last two computations here without going back and forth between the notes. So we're going to go trig. We're going to get the cotangent because we want to do cotangent of 83 degrees. So either switch to degree mode and hit enter. That's a value. Or if you're in radian mode, you can force it to be degrees with the degree symbol. So that's cotangent 83 degrees. And then cosecant 1.5, that's in radians. So trig, get cosecant, convert back to radian mode, and then hit 1.5. Enter, and that's 1.0025. And let's say I wanted to do that last one. I was in degree mode just for good practice. I can do cosecant 1.5. And here it's a little easier to force the units to be radians when it's not a fraction. So 1.5 radians, we should get the same thing. I'm going to switch back to the notes and I will type in the values that we found, but hopefully you put them in as you went. And also, please make sure that you are doing these computations on your calculator so that you are able to do these on your own. Okay, so secant pi over 9 is 1.064. Cotangent of 83 degrees is 0.123. And cosecant of 1.5 radians is 1.003. And here in the notes, I've explained what we just talked about.